Hey there guys, Noah here, and welcome back to another Vanguard discussion video. We recently got an announcement that confirmed that we will be getting reprints for both V Premium and Premium, and so I want to go over specifically today, in this video, which cards I believe should be reprinted for the Premium format, because a lot of these cards have been inflated in terms of price on the secondary market, and this is kind of to get the ball rolling and thinking about, okay, which cards definitely need a reprint without a shadow of a doubt, because there have already been some cards from the past premium collections that have been reprinted in more recent sets. So I'm gonna kind of go over which ones haven't had a reprint since the initial release and kind of figure out, okay, these are definitely the cards that need to get reprinted. Also, I will go over the V Premium stuff in a separate video. This is specifically for Premium. So for this specific like category of trying to figure out, okay, which cards definitely need to be reprinted, I'm specifically going to look for one card in particular for a clan, because a lot of cards did get reprinted in the Revival selection. A lot of their good G-Guards, a lot of their good Strides for every single clan did get reprinted in that set in particular. So luckily, those prices have actually remained relatively reasonable, and I'm only looking at cards that are kind of just overall inflated, either because they are only printed in that one set, or because it's been in high demand, or whatever the case may be. You know, that's how the way I'm going to go about it. If you guys enjoy this, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and consider subbing to the channel, because any bit of support is greatly appreciated. Without further ado, let's just dive in. So I'm going to divide this into terms of nation, so I'm going to start off with United Sanctuary. I think out of two Strides that definitely need to get reprinted, it is Crystal Luster and Chain Ranker. Both of these Strides pretty much do the exact same thing where they enable your Heart Cards abilities. So essentially, it allows you to use Raging Form in Shadow Paladin, and it allows you to use Jewel Knights in Royal Paladin. So it's self-explanatory. These cards are very sought out. You know, Crystal Luster in particular, at the time of me actually looking this up, is almost a $46 card, per copy. Jesus Christ, this card needs to be reprinted. And Chainranker isn't nearly as bad. It's about the $20 mark just for the base rarity of it, but it's creeping up there, and I definitely think that overall these two cards should definitely get reprinted. Another card that kind of needs a reprint is Spear-X, because I didn't really see anything in Gold Paladin's arsenal that kind of needed the reprint. The medium market price is around $12, but in general it's kind of fluctuating. But out of all the cards, maybe give Spear-X a reprint. You know, I'm just not sure for Gold Paladin. Out of all the Strides for Genesis, in particular, Almighty Minerva definitely needs a reprint. To my knowledge, this Stride hasn't gotten a reprint yet, so this would probably be a prime candidate, considering a lot of Genesis decks right now are abusing this card, you know, with the Norns and everything. So yeah, definitely a card that probably should get a reprint. Right now, at the time of this recording, it's around the $18 range, so yeah, it's creeping up there. It definitely needs a reprint. Up next, we've got Momo. Out of all of the Oracle Think Tank stuff, Momo's the only Stride that goes above the $10 range, at least to my knowledge. And yeah, no, this card is really good for Oracle Think Tank, so I definitely think it deserves a reprint. And out of all the cards in Angel Feather's thing at the time of this recording, the only thing that actually needs a reprint is a G-Guard. Black Seraph Elif. It is creeping up to be a $16 card right now, and so it has a relatively good, you know, G-Guard effect, so definitely a card I think should probably get a reprint. Alright, so up next we're moving to Dragon Empire, and I definitely think one of the Strides that should get a reprint, because I feel like everything else is relatively priced out well, is the Purge for Kagero. The Purge, you know, between both versions of it, because it did get reprinted in the Revival collection a while back I think it was 2019. That version is $40, but then the regular one from Ultimate Stride is $27 essentially with tax. So I think that out of all the cards that need a reprint for Kagero, the Purge is definitely the one that needs it the most. And then I think Stubbers probably could use a reprint, either that or Exterminate. Either one is fine. It just depends on which one they actually want to reprint at that point. For Tachi's is specific, I think out of all the Strides that I saw, Gluttony Nibiros definitely needs a reprint. It only has the one version, so might as well, you know, print it out. And for the last two Dragon Empire clans, it was actually very tricky, because both of them actually have, you know, most of their G-Zone is relatively priced out well. So I took one card that never actually received any reprints whatsoever. That's the Cosmetic Snowfall Shirayuki Stride from Fighters Collection 2015. Right now, it's going for about 17 bucks right now at the time of this recording. And I don't see anybody really going into it, so I just picked it because, you know what, might as well help out the price of that card a bit. And then lastly, we have Jaku Meso for Nubatama. Out of all of the Nubatama strides, this is the one that actually went above 5 bucks, so I just sat there and said, screw it, might as well, you know, it came out from 2020, you know, so might as well just, you know, reprint that one anyway, just for the being on the safe side. Okay, up next we got Dark Zone. Pale Moon's only stride that I feel like they definitely need to reprint is the Dark Lord Princess, specifically because it's, right now, it's being listed as a $26 to $27 card, and that's only going to get crept up and more up, so if people actually want to build Pale Moon, this is the stride they definitely need, and just for one copy, $27, kind of fucking yikes if you ask me, so yeah, definitely a stride that I could see for Pale Moon getting reprinted. Now, the next 3 clans, I had to kind of say, fuck it, because, truth be told, most of these strides you will never go into. I think Next Stage, the original Chrono Dragon Next Stage, kind of needs a reprint. You can already tell, if you look at some of the prices, like, most of the Gear Chronicle stuff is actually relatively priced down. Like, nothing is, outside of Next Stage, is, like, above the $10 range, at least from what I'm seeing. I think definitely Next Stage needs a reprint, because even despite the fact it did get a reprint in the G era, I forget, I think it was like the Gear set with Demiurge or whatnot, that one's like a 40-something card, and this is the cheapest listing you can get, so I definitely think that Next Stage definitely needs a reprint. Up next for Dark Irregulars, the one steeped in Sid Shahulrat. This is the only stride I saw that was above $10, at least from what I saw, so yeah, it's a $20 card essentially right now, and yeah, I think it kind of needs a reprint. That's the only thing I could see. Because Spike Brothers ain't much better, because Spike Brothers, most of their strides are relatively tame. In fact, most of their strides are not even above the $7 mark. The only thing that is the original Miracle Ace from like Reckless Rampage. That's the only one that actually needs a reprint, because right now that's like a $7 card with tax. So yeah, that's all for Dark Zone, I guess. Alright, so this one actually took me a bit longer to figure out, because I'm going to start off with Bermuda for Melon and Unica. I don't know shit about Bermuda. I'm going to tell you this straight up. So I just picked Alk from the Divas Festiva, or whatever the fuck that set is. I just don't know, so definitely maybe Alk, because there's only one printing of her, so might as well. For Aquaforce, definitely Lambros, because all the other strides are very cheap in comparison. Like, Lambros is the most reprinted stride I can tell in general, and yet it is still, there's not one copy that's below $10, so like the lowest one is almost 13, so yeah. Lambros definitely for Aquaforce, and then Bad Bounty for Granblue. So for Zoo, I'm gonna say Ardillo for Great Nature, because it's a $30 card, $31 if you include tax, and there's no other printing of it, so yeah, I think that G-Guard definitely needs something. For Gridora, for Mega Colony, because why the hell not? Because all the other Mega Colony strides are cheap. Inverno is the only other stride for Neonectar that is above the $10 range, because nobody plays Neonectar in Premium. Okay, so finally for Stargate, Geomaglass. This thing is basically a $45 card with tax. Like, bro, that is crazy to me. That is bonkers. And that's just one listing, because the other ones are like above 50. Yeah, no, Geomaglass definitely needs a reprint. Out of all the strides for Nova Grappler, the only one I saw was Media Kaiser Victor, and that one's like $14, and then it kind of trickles up into like a $15 and $16 card. And all the other strides outside of this are relatively cheap, so I just picked it. And then for Link Joker, if I'm not being biased, then Global Avalanche needs a reprint, because it only had the 2019 printing. If I'm being completely biased, reprint Omega Loop. Please, reprint the card so I can play Glendios in Premium. I would totally play Glendios in Premium just to be that guy. 110%. Yeah, just because the other stride isn't that bad. The Omega Fall isn't bad. It's just Omega Loop is like a $20 card for some goddamn reason. So, yeah, reprint it if you want to be that nice person for me, please. Please! So outside of the clan-specific stuff, the only other things I could possibly think of that need a reprint are the progenitor dragons because they only have the one printing and some of them are very expensive. The Zeroth dragons because they're always going to be relevant, at least somewhat. And Gizeh. I know it's a joke. Trust me, I know it's a joke card at this point, but it's over $100 at this point, so you might as well reprint them. And then, lastly, Rollock. Rollock in specific definitely needs a reprint because outside of the one listing that's like $9, I think it's not even $9, it's, oh my god, way more than that. It's a $20 card essentially, so, and there are a lot of decks that could use it, so you might as well reprint it. But yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Until next time, this is Noah, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!